voice of Neal Ruhl. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. We went to the bullpen today. No Darren McCarty. He'll be back at it tomorrow. But we got my guy, Matt Broder, here in the house. Matt, what's poppin'?
Neal, how you doing? Thanks so much for having me.
I'm great, man. Happy to run this race with you here today. Gabby is in the house as well. Have Gabby Phillips here also. Doing a lot of work out at Allen Park, which will come into play today, Gabby. We'll discuss that. How are you?
Definitely doing great. Ready to be on back-to-back shows today. I'm getting a little bit comfy in this Maz chair, so I'm ready.
That is the Maz chair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Officially, it is.
I'm trying to take it over.
Are you?
The Gabby Maz chair.
Let's go.
We'll see. There'll be a little fight for it.
We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter. We have all of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat as well. Jump into there. Detroit Dabber 313 says, "What up, Doe?" And yeah, he's first in, so you know that we are on. We were on par. Lots of talk about the NHL Draft Lottery that is tonight. We will discuss. We will get to that a little bit later on in the show. The Detroit Tigers. Who knew? They're good, I guess. I was told, Matt Broder.
Have a weekend. I mean, they let us cut us short on Sunday, but what a last 5-6 games they've been playing.
Yeah, yeah, that's right, Ric Flair. Yeah, they are back at it, and we'll discuss because even through the success, yesterday pissed me off, and it did, man.
I know where you're going with this. I'm ready for it.
It did, and I got to hear about. Oh, Javi's back, and look what he's doing. And then I go out there, and the circus is back in town, out in the field again. And he's a 100-run inning for the Cardinals. You know what? That's... Well, he hadn't made, fielding here. This is what he is. It's frustrating. We'll discuss. We are going to get into all of that. Spenmo, I always like to check in with you. I live vicariously through you. Mm-hmm. My weekends are filled with television commitments and family first communions and all that kind of stuff. Spenmo, you take me back, though.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
So, my dad's out of town.
Oh, boy.
So, I've been having a pretty wild a week or so at my house. Had some people over, and I had some people over this weekend. I drank a whole bottle of Don Julio the other day, and yeah, it was good. I took the dog to the park. Yesterday I chilled. I didn't do anything yesterday. I took the dog to the park.
As I like to say, back from when I was in those days, even the Lord rest on Sunday.
Recuperated.
Rehydrate, recuperate.
Oh, yeah.
Cinco de Mayo got you, huh, Spencer?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
When has it ever not?
Yeah, it always gets there eventually.
It always. Sam Flannel, what about you, man? What happened?
Well, I would just like to say the reports of the Lakers and Anthony Davis's demise are greatly overstated. It happens, man. He was always going to come back with a big game. They were always going to come back with a 30-point blowout. And you got those stupid-ass Warriors and Steph Curry fans still blaming the refs. Can you ever take an L graciously, people? Or even a W, for that matter?
I know. They remind me of a certain college fan base in town, don't they?
You know what? I have a good Michigan man in Matt Broder to have my back on this one. An actual alum, former baseball player for them. So we got you this time, Neal.
Absolutely. How'd it feel when Oakland beat Michigan in baseball this year again?
Funny, Neal. But this is how you welcome me to the show?
Well, I got to get your thoughts.
We've got a new coach. I could roll out the excuses. No, that's not a game they should ever lose, Neal.
I know, but they seem to all the time.
They do. Michigan
really
sports, it's been a tumultuous couple of years.
But it's funny we bring that up, though. We'll have two Michigan men when we talk about the NHL Draft Lottery, because as I look through all the mocks and everything like that, all these Michigan players, man, Michigan hockey must have been racking national championships.
Nope.
You would think.
Racking Frozen Fours. That's about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I've said, and I scream from the rooftops that is not acceptable. It's really as bad how many times they've just gagged in the Final Four. It is terrible.
Rustin Burke says, "Good morning, Woodward crew." Rustin, appreciate you tapping in. Coach Richie, this is the only show I listen to on Woodward. Well, if you're only going to listen to one, Richie, this should be the one.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're going to listen to two, then listen to this one and the heavyweights. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay.
And then come to the morning show just for a little taste.
Oh, yeah, there's a morning show, too. I forgot about that one. And then, the final word, right?
Yep.
Bottom word? Final line?
Final line. Something like that.
Something like that.
Oh,
no.
my God, it's Ryan Ermanni.
Absolutely. We do have to talk about this, though, because last night I got locked in. Like I said, I had like the family. My daughter had her communion and everything. Everybody in the world was over the house. Was able to get through that and all that. And I was able to just flip on in the third period. Toronto and the Panthers. And surely Toronto's going to win. They're down 2-0. They're at Florida, South Florida. The building's full of Maple Leaf fans like it always is in South Florida. Surely they were going to win.
Of course.
And they were winning. Until they weren't.
Until they weren't, Neal. Why do you think they collapsed like that? How did that happen? You think the Maple Leafs are just going to continue the dominant run, but no, the Florida Panthers.
Run.
The Florida Panthers.
Yeah, the dominant run of winning their first round playoff series in like 2 decades or whatever it's been. I think the Big Ten's won a national basketball title more recently than the Maple Leafs have won a playoff series. I love it though. BD3 Thought Criminal says F Toronto. So, I love it. Matt, I live for it. It's a rite of springtime. There are a couple things I know that are going to make the weather get warmer. Number one, and you were at the Kentucky Derby.
I was there.
I do want to talk about that experience just real quickly when we get there. Things that tell me the weather's going to warm up soon. Toronto in the playoffs, losing, because I know that's end of April, early May. That's a rite of passage. The Kentucky Derby is another one as well. But guys, you've heard me talk about this before. The Toronto Maple Leafs, no Stanley Cup since 1967. They're down 3-0 to the Florida Panthers, by the way. What makes you happy that shouldn't? I get way more excited about Toronto losing the playoffs than I should.
I'm a big fan of seeing LeBron and the Lakers lose in the playoffs. I know they may cause some competition there in the booth, but seeing LeBron make it to the playoffs as he does each year and then run into a formidable opponent, I don't know. I like seeing these rounds go down to the bitter end.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. David Sparkman says the Maple Leafs live rent-free in your head. David, please. You have to be relevant to, quote, live rent-free in somebody's head. Nobody who hasn't done anything since the 60s lives rent-free in anybody's head. Gabby, I have to ask you the question because I'm curious to get your perspective on it.
Yep.
What in sports do you get great pleasure from, probably more pleasure from than you shouldn't?
Great question. I mean, this whole Maple Leafs Panthers situation where you don't see hardly any Maple Leafs fans in the stands really just is thrilling to me. This whole geo-targeting with the ticket sales, that was wild to me and got me so excited.
I actually enjoyed that. But for people that don't know, you're a Florida State alum.
Yes, I am.
So, do you get that way with like Miami or Florida or anything like that when they lose?
Of course, those are givens. Yeah. Obviously, that's just like another day. They're going to lose. They're going to lose to Florida State. And any other teams that they lose to, fantastic. Love to see them go down.
So, Matt Broder, you were at the Kentucky Derby over the weekend.
I was.
You're out there with you said it was part of a bachelor party experience.
Part of a bachelor party.
That is the one thing that I have been meaning to do that I have not done yet. I'm a big horse racing guy. I love the horse racing. Things didn't shake out my way. Did you wear the hat and the suit and the whole bit?
I didn't. We were on the infield, so we were where all the debauchery was. There's not as strict of a dress code as if you were sitting up in the bougie seats, but that's next on my bucket list. But dude, it was a blast. It was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before.
Yeah.
I would recommend that.
So it's everything that's advertised.
It is. But at the same time, it's like nothing you expect. Everyone's there for the exact same reason and just having a good time, putting their money on the horse that they think they know.
Yeah.
But really, no one knows the outcome.
Well, the Kentucky Derby is going to be a lot like the NHL draft this year. Nobody in the world knows any of these guys from the NHL draft outside of Bedard and the slappy Michigan players.
Hobie Baker Award winner.
Yeah, that Sam Flannel we'll talk about, and then maybe we can get like a two left wing tops, right, or a 2C or something like that. But anyway. The Kentucky Derby is similar in that. You're going to see a lot of NHL draft experts in the next 24 hours around town.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them. And, like, for me, I'm kind of sad because it seems to be a down year for the OHL, the Ontario Hockey League. That's kind of like my low-key hockey that I'm a fan of.
Okay.
So, but through that, the Kentucky Derby's the same way. Where, first off, did you win any coin on the race?
I didn't.
Okay.
We had one winner in our group. His son's birthday is actually today, May 8th, so he just put it on horse number 8, who ended up winning Mage. But I walked away empty-handed.
Sounds like Alavila's draft strategy.
It does. It does. Yeah. I don't think any of our group of 10 were trying to take any GM spot from anybody. But yeah, we had one winner.
Yeah. D's Nuts 313 says, I like watching Bears fans cry. I do too. I do too. The Bears, the Vikings with their stupid helmets. We've been over this before. Like, the Vikings bother me more than anybody else in the Lions division because those helmets are stupid. And just how, like, the point of the Viking helmet or whatever, like, it almost touches in the back, that irrationally bothers me, Gabby.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did you feel about the whole Cousins with the chains on the plane and the dancing? How did you feel about all that?
Chains.
That's Kirko Chains. That's right.
Came down, hold up.
Yeah. It was whatever. Kirk Cousins, he's like an exit on the highway that you drive past to me. Like, it's in and out of your life.
Tell me how you feel.
Because you know how it's going to end. Like, you always know how it's going to end. So I don't really worry about all that.
Spartan dog.
And Neal,
yes.
I have to say, one of my biggest takeaways from this weekend, so I'm with a group of 10, guys from the Midwest. There's a handful that are from Chicago. And their level of excitement and approval of everything the Bears are doing is insanity. They think that the Bears are going to win the NFC North this year. So it's a wild ride.
I'm big on what they're doing, man. I'm big on what they're doing. And, you can be critical of the way Justin Field throws the ball and things like that, but he is a dynamic athlete. Not a good runner, a dynamic athlete in a league of dynamic athletes.
Does that lead them to the NFC North title?
I mean, I don't know that we're there yet with them, but they're gonna be a factor soon.
Yeah, true.
Sooner rather than later. Like, they took all that cap space, remade the defense a little bit, got some linebacking help. Next up for them will be addressing the defensive line. Speaking of defensive lines, we'll talk about the Detroit Lions and their draft. Spenny had a good angle, and it's a bottom line question that I want to get to. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Mike G wants to quarterback the show here. So Matt, ask Gabby how she will feel about an eventual Florida State-Michigan National Championship matchup this year.
This is an ongoing question. This question comes up about 5 times in the morning show chat. 5 times. That and, how I'll feel if they beat Clemson. Do I think we're going to get an FSU-Michigan national championship this year? No.
No, because Michigan would have to win a playoff game in order for that to happen.
Hey-o.
Well, you know what? Talk all the trash that you want about Michigan, as long as it's not about my Knowles, we're fine.
Yeah.
If that happened, that would be actually wild. The chances of that happening are 0, and I got to pull for FSU in that race,
yeah.
Mr. Flannel.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
Michigan's not going to be the problem this year. FSU, they're looking like a 9-win football team at best. So I'm just saying. I know they've won one recently with Jameis Winston. I give them a lot of credit. I rooted for them, but I don't know. They've had some down years, but I think Mike Norvell's getting it together.
Definitely. He is on the rebuild right now.
Vincent Bergrantz wants to know, Neal, did that villain hoodie arrive yet? I haven't seen it as of yet. I will go in the back and take a look, at what shipments have come in. Appreciate it, by the way, my friend. Jack Carrington says Clemson greater than FSU. So, with all due respect, ACC network chat, we're going to put the kibosh on that, and we're going to get into it.
Okay.
This Tigers team, I just want to take a segment. I do. I want to know if I'm being fair, or if you guys are maybe being a little extra. Let's decide that. Let's figure out what's going on after I tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast is called This is the S Word. Helps fight the stigma associated with seeking help. If you're struggling or someone you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Again, thesportsma.com. The Sports Marketing Agency. They're here to help.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Off and running here on a Monday. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Matt Broder, Gabby Phillips here in the house as well. Of course, Sam Flannel and Spencer Racksta here today as well. We're getting it in. Darren McCarty will be back tomorrow. Subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast if you would, wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker. 5-star review too. Get it out there. Get it out there and get it rolling through all your channels that you do get the podcast. And also, speaking of channels, the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe to there as well. Absolutely dominating the sports digital space in Detroit. That is fact, not opinion. You can go look for yourself, or you can just take my word and save yourself some time. Either way, you're going to come to the same conclusion. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Mike G says, Bedard gives me the big D, but Adam Fantilli is beast mode, man. Both sides of the ice. So here we go, Flannel. Here we go, right?
Not a chance.
I mean, Adam Fantilli's a damn good prospect. He's probably the number 2 prospect in the draft.
Would he be a fine 2C?
I mean, I think he could be a 1, but he's not going to be Connor Bedard, obviously. You can't just discount him because
we already have a 2C from Michigan, don't we?
Absolutely. Just paid him.
Okay. We'll talk. We're going to talk about all you NHL draft experts. You guys are going to educate me. I'm going to you guys. It was a down year for OHL prospects, so we will get into it. Tigers yesterday lose 12-6 to St. Louis, snapped a 5-game winning streak that they had rolling. And I was getting this, Matt. I was getting these texts. I have like a couple of my buddies that I work with at Oakland that are big baseball fans. One of them's a big Alavila guy, so we fight constantly over the
How are you a big Alavila guy? What does it even mean?
What?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
They do exist.
There's one out there. There's one out
Rare.
there. But they fall yesterday to the Cardinals, snapped a 5-game winning streak. Just, I guess, a couple games back in the division.
Was that 3.5?
Something like that?
Back from the Twins?
Are we getting too... Matt, we're getting too aggressive here, man. Like, yesterday, and Spenmo, you guys put out the clip, or Friday, I mean, you guys put out the clip, right? Mm-hmm. I explained the rationale of why you have to trade Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yes.
There is no debate. There is no, well, let's keep him and see. He's leaving. Mm-hmm. Well, he's pitching well. Exactly.
That's why you trade him.
He's leaving.
Yeah.
And he ain't coming back. That's it. That's all. And I got blown up, Matt, on social media from people.
Really?
This guy's stupid. Well, this guy's pitching good. What's he talking about? Now, I'll chalk that up because you're going to get that. But for people that don't understand, contracts and the way it works, Eduardo Rodriguez has a player opt-out after this year. ... So, help me. Am I being obtuse here? Am I being a hater, as it were? Or are you buying this?
You're not being a hater at all. I think your reasoning behind it is 100% accurate, and I'm looking for something to argue with, and I can't find it here.
Right.
This is one of those situations where you have to take advantage of a pitcher pitching in his prime or pitching when he has the most value around the league. Now is when you trade him and get the most assets for him. We're not going to compete for the AL Central this year. We might hang in there for a couple months just because of how bad the division is, but we're not going to compete for a World Series anytime soon. So if you have a guy pitching like an ace, you got to rebuild that farm system. You have to.
I was waiting for this. And I know it's early, and it's Monday, and the week's just starting, but Austin Harris says, good Lord, we win 5 straight, then we lose 1, but let's focus on the 1 loss. Austin, because I all weekend long I got it on social media. Hey, Javi, what do you think about Javi now, Neal? What do I think about Javi? Look at the fielding. Look at the play when it mattered. Look at the play when they had the lead. That was egregious. Egregious. And I don't know why I was surprised. He led shortstops in errors last year, guys. I know we're desperate to win. Gabby, I know we're desperate to win. I get that. I understand that. You can't win with Javi Baez being your best player. I'm sorry. Am I wrong here? Am I being crazy? Help me.
I don't think you're being crazy.
Okay.
I don't. I just don't think the Tigers can continue this way and be consistent.
And you're right, Javi Baez can't be your best player, and that's what he was signed for. This is the problem with some of the Al Avila moves. He was signed and given money to be your star player. Javi Baez is a good player. He could even be a great player on a good team, but he can't be the guy you build a team around. You can't have someone hitting in the low 200s, striking out as much as he does. He was an awesome role player in Chicago because he brought the energy with that team with Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo. You know, the way he slaps the tag down at second. He's an awesome player. He's exciting. But he can't be your star. He just can't be.
All right, and some people, they seem to be talking some sense here. Corbin says we can afford to trade Erod, let Harris cook like Holmes with some draft picks. And I'm seeing some of that as well. Real Cream of Wheat says, Tigers suck at trading in recent memory, would rather him just play out the contract. Real Cream of Wheat, give me the logic behind that, please. Like, you have an asset who's pitching the best he's ever pitched in his career, who will not be here next year, no matter what, will not be here. Like, what's the rationale? Let him stay, let him pitch it out for what? Why would you get nothing when you can get something? Again, I'm open to it. Maybe it's me, maybe it's on my end, maybe I'm the problem, I don't know. But Real Cream of Wheat, like, I don't understand how that makes sense. You need talent on this baseball team. You need depth of talent. Like, it's cute what they're doing right now. It's fine. But this isn't, like, again, this series, and I was looking at the probables, you know, Joey Wentz, is he going to do it for you in Cleveland? Like, come on, guys. Like, it's nice. It was fun. But this isn't real. It's not real. I'm sorry.
So what are the options to fix the situation that they're in right now?
5 years. Let time pass. Let Scott Harris, who has already had more success trading than Al Avila had in his entire career, let him go to work. I am totally comfortable. He's 1 for 1. Vierling and Maiden are like 2 of your best players. Look at the numbers. And what's amazing about it, like, Maiden's hitting like 190. And his production, he's tied for the team lead in home runs and stuff like that still. Like, that's still the reality. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm sorry. Like, if it sounds like I'm, like, pissing on the parade on a Monday, like someone said, boy, Neal really hates Mondays. No, I don't. Like, I don't. It's just, and I know, like, a lot of you, like Killa says, you trade him either way. He'll be valuable to other teams. Like, guys, this is how this works. And Steve Yzerman did this. He did this exact same flight path during the trade deadline. Put it out there and said, under no circumstances were we going to be buyers. The franchise isn't there yet. The franchise isn't there yet. Matt, you can't just, quote, ride it out with Eduardo Rodriguez and let him play out the contract, because the contract's over in October.
You may consider it if the Tigers had, you know, a top 5 minor league system right now. But they are so far from that. This is the time where you have to build that system. This is the time. If it depends what Chris Ilitch really thinks about this team or how he's going to act with this team. It doesn't seem like he's going to be the one to spend a lot of money this offseason. What they really need is to rebuild that farm system, which has been near the bottom of the majors for years. This is where you use these players. I think we're just getting a little faked out by the recent success. And I say recent because it is very recent. It's like just this last week. Look at the full body of work. They're not a good team. They're playing some good games. But this is the time where we got to build the future.
And really, too, like, and I mentioned this on Friday where I said with the Tigers, if you look at the wins, like the Mets series wins, okay? And any time where they've gone on a run of winning, it's been a thing like where there's been 2 rainouts in a row, and you play like 3 games in 24 hours, and the other team's got to bring up a guy from AAA to start a game. And, you know, even Verlander's pitching his first game of the season. Scherzer's back after 2 weeks off. And you play the games, this is the pros, and they did win. Like, I did see that. I did watch Verlander be the second best pitcher in the park again. Like, I understand that.
Chill.
What?
Chill on my guy.
I agree with Spenny on this one.
That's what I heard all the time, right? Like, they didn't support him.
Oh, well, he wasn't the second best pitcher in the park when he was winning Cy Youngs and MVPs. Like, it's not like it's a regular occurrence.
Unless it was the World Series.
Unless it was the World Series.
Okay.
That's fair.
See, you're always reasonable, Spenmo. You always take the air out of the balloon.
Yeah.
The bits don't work with you. But I respect it.
That's fair. Because I can't, if it's true, I can't say it's, you know.
Gabby, this is a very tolerant show. Mm-hmm. Big D energy.
Yes.
We're rationed.
Everyone's level-headed.
We talk things out like adults or adults.
Yeah.
People say I'm a lot more tame on here than I am on the heavyweights. I see that in the chat a lot.
I would have to agree.
Yeah.
All I know is that the desk is much more tame than in the morning.
Yes, it is.
Very different vibes.
Well, I just want to talk through things. You know, like you're welcome to have that opinion to let Eduardo Rodriguez play it out. Just give me the why. Based on what? Because I gave you my reasons.
Yeah, what is the why? There's nothing that's going to happen in the next 24 months.
Yeah, so it's just for me it's 3 years, $16 million-ish a year. That's Eduardo Rodriguez's contract. You're pitching the way he's pitching. I'm stepping out of that, and I'm going to hit up Jack Harrington's guys, the Yankees. They'll do something dumb. They'll give Eduardo Rodriguez 120 for 5 years or something like that, because that's the way they operate. It's the Yankees. You're absolutely stepping out of this contract. I guess if anything else, it's just a public service that I'm doing for the people, where this is what's going to happen, so be prepared. Yeah. So for the let him play out his contract crowd, then what? Then what?
Could let him walk for nothing? No. This is where baseball's it's such a different game from the other sports in terms of, being able to rebuild your team. The draft picks, you don't usually see them in the big leagues for 2, 3, 4 years. Like, this is where we're building the team 4 or 5 years down the line. And we need pieces like Eduardo Rodriguez to do that. We need Javi Baez to play better so we can ship him out of town too.
No, you're absolutely right, because that can't be done. Like who's going to take that?
Contract? Yeah.
Well, so we need to understand where we are in the game here too, as this plays out. And this is fun, right? Like, yes, they're about 3.5 out of the division lead, but they're going to Cleveland. Cleveland's been a graveyard for this team over the last 2 decades. Like they've had more success lately, but this is big because now you're through. You got Eduardo going on Wednesday, I believe, but you're going to have some choppy seas these 2 games here. You're going to have to win some softball games to win here. So, and that's it. When you start 2-9, it's so hard to get back. And then games like yesterday. And look, I know everyone's like, oh well, it's okay what happened yesterday. That sweep is what turns everything. You have to win that 3rd game. Because instead, again, just going off the math, you improve by 3 games if you sweep them. You improve by 1 if you don't. And you had the lead, and you were up 6-3, and you have to win games that Jake Rogers hits a grand slam in. You have to. And then the fielding circus started. And look, I'm a big Maton guy, like I am, and he was bad in the field yesterday too. He was bad. I'm sure he'll be the first one to tell you. But then Javi kind of finished it off, and away it went. Like it was, man. Like you can't let that slip through your fingers, those opportunities. And I know it's 1 of 162, but at the same time, that's more than 1 of 162.
I know we're going to a break, but those are the games that tell you a lot about a team. When Jake Rogers hits that grand slam, good teams put that game away. They win that game. The Tigers just completely flopped.
Yeah, no, they did. And look, does it wash away what they did during the week? No, it doesn't wash it away. But again, I feel as though everyone's being sucked up into a vacuum that's going to end in disappointment. And I feel bad for the people from that respect.
That's why you're a man of the people, just preparing
man of the people, yeah, absolutely. Sam Flannel.
Yes.
Haircut game.
Absolutely. My second Lady Jane's read of the day, so I get to show how good my hair's been looking lately, and it's because of these wonderful stylists at Lady Jane's. And how would you like to win a new vehicle for you and a friend? That's right, a new car for you and your wife, girlfriend, or best bud, or for the love of God, Spencer frickin' Raxter.
Yeah, I could use it.
Absolutely. Just get to Lady Jane's and automatically register for your chance to win, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
It's a great day to get some sense around in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Back out of here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Matt Broder, Gabby Phillips here in the house. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, of course. D-Mac will be back tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, whatever. Wherever you get your podcast, drop that 5-star review.
5-star.
Get the algorithms pumping. Get in front of more people. Help us out here. Do us a solid, as they would say. Wrapping up this Tiger discussion, Chuck Brewer says, Neal, I keep him if you tell me Chris is writing a lot of fat checks in 6 months.
Keep dreaming, brother.
Chuck, what's going to change? What's going to change? So, I just don't see that. Look, guys, I'll leave it at this. When they hired Tampa Bay's director of scouting from the Rays, that put in motion what the course of action is going to be. This is going to be a flushing of the team financially, and I will give them this. If you want to go this route, and I called for this even before they did it, I said, you got to do this one of two ways. You got to wake up tomorrow and say, we're going to be good, and do what goes along with doing that, or you have to flush it and go get people from the Rays that can talent evaluate, because the Rays, man, you look at what they've been doing, and look, that was probably, this is my guess, I don't have any inside knowledge, it's just a gut feeling I have. You know I like to follow the money, per se. It's easier to write one big check to a director of scouting than it is to write many big checks to players out there. And if you go plan B, if you go the second route where you're looking to develop talent, it's going to be rough. The air's going to be rough for a couple of years. So this is nice. And look, I'm not ishing on you guys. Like, you want to get excited about it. Like, I'm not saying don't be excited about it, because already we've gotten more than we've expected, especially when they were 2-9. But through all that, just temper yourself, guys, okay? And big series against Cleveland. Guys, it's fitting that we have you here, Gabby especially too, because Spenmo on the show sheet came up with a very, very good question. And I think it's the $64,000 question for Lions fans out there.
It's a very specific number.
What's that?
I said that's a very specific number.
It's an old person show.
Oh, okay.
I was told. Spenmo wanted to know, and Gabby, I'll go to you first on this one. Flat out, bottom line, did the Lions do enough to address the defense in the draft? As we've let all this settle, put you on the spot, did they do enough? Right here, right now.
Going into this year, I think they did enough. I think they did enough for where they were at going into the draft. Do I think it is going to be enough moving forward?
Okay.
But I think it is a good start for addressing what they needed to this year.
Because I wonder about that. And Real Cream of Wheat says, I don't think so. And I guess the question, what it boils down to, Matt, is, for me, I had two simple requests going into the draft. You guys know it well. Number one, don't give up 300 yards of rushing and a half against a team. Number two, make every team you play this year punt at least once. Those were because they both happened in the opposite direction last year and ended up costing you a playoff berth. I don't know how I feel about it. Even now, like as I recreate, I'm warming up to the Jack Campbell thing. I'm told that he's going to contribute, especially, against the run and things like that. Right here, right now, did they do enough to you?
I don't think so. At least that's what my gut's telling me. What I do think is that the draft selection, what Brad Holmes did to get Broderick Martin, giving up 3 picks to go get him, I think it both tells you what he feels about that player, which is probably higher than what other GMs around the NFL feel. I also think it shows the level of confidence he has in the defensive line developing from last year. we've got these guys like Buggs and McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson, James Houston, even Benito Jones coming into building out that defensive line with John Scott Jr., their new defensive line coach. I think they feel that those guys are going to take a much bigger step than maybe we all believe. And so prioritizing the defensive tackle spot, which is something I thought needed to be addressed early. I think a lot of people did. Prioritizing that wasn't as much of a priority as we thought. And I think he went to Jack Campbell to solidify that a little bit. But I don't know. My gut is telling me right now that they haven't.
WoodwardSports.com and chat poll, did the Lions do enough to address the defense? Yes, no, or should have drafted Grandpa Joe? No, because it's apparent that character is important.
That's a good point.
I think one thing we know about the Lions, Spenmo, is character's important. And if character's important, I believe Grandpa Joe was never on their draft board.
Never on the board. He's a guy that abandoned his family. He's a guy that, you can't trust him. He probably lied in his interviews, like he lied about the fizzy lifting drink. Never on the board.
Never on the board. Daniel Bridger at WoodwardSports.com chat thread. I think the moves Holmes made so far in the offseason shows the faith he has in last year's starters and the improvements they made towards the end of the season. And Daniel, look, like my kind of answer to the question I just went around the room and asked is along those lines, because I feel as though when you look at the people that were coming back, because I was driving the Jalen Carter bandwagon. If I wasn't driving, I was definitely sitting shotgun. I was working the GPS, all of it. For me, I was on that train also. I wanted to see something on the interior. They addressed a little bit later on, as you talked about, but still through all that, I do believe, and this one took a minute to kind of go back and recreate it and see where everything was. As I looked at it, I've come to that conclusion too, Daniel, where, the Josh Pascals and bringing Buggs back and Kaminsky, that's everyone's favorite stat, right? They were 9-3 when Frank Kaminsky played. So, I mean, maybe he does feel that. I think that he honestly thinks we're good. We get guys, and the injury, the injury thing sways back and forth, right? You'll lose some guys this year that you weren't planning on losing, that you didn't lose last year. You'll get some guys back from last year that you didn't necessarily have. I think when you boil it all down, he does trust the depth he has at the defensive line. I do.
I agree, and I think that's why he waited till the end of the third round to go get Broderick Martin.
Yes.
I agree.
And it was a lot, too. It was a lot. Cujo Bob says you don't draft Jalen Carter because his coaches hated him. LOL. I wouldn't go that far. I think that they enjoyed, national titles and things like that.
Having the best defense in football.
100, top 3-round draft picks off the defense. I think that's a little aggressive. Real Cream of Wheat says Grandpa Joe was driving the car that Jalen Carter got busted in for speeding. Yeah, and he said he wasn't even at the scene.
Yep.
It's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, he said he was bedridden.
Gabby, do you get that vibe when you're down at Allen Park? Like when you hear the conversation move towards defensively, and you were there for everything. You were there 24/7 during the draft weekend. And I know the question came up, and it was probably phrased multiple ways, where people asked and said, do you feel like you did enough? Why did you pass on certain guys? Which is another way of saying, do you feel you did enough, and all that kind of stuff. When the conversation went that way, did you get that vibe? Did you get that feeling where it's kind of along my thought, where we're kind of cool with the guys we got in the room? Did you get that or not?
100%. Going into the draft, Holmes touched on the sophomores. He touched on the sophomores in the defense.
Was it one of those things, too, where he went out of his way to bring that up, or he just took advantage of a lane that was given to him?
It was a question asked, and
Okay.
he went down that path, but he specifically called out individuals by name, and he touched on how confident he felt going into the draft. And obviously this is one of those things that you look at it and you're like, hindsight's 20/20. Obviously he brought them up, and now you look at our draft picks and you're like, okay, so he is really confident in them. He does believe in the people that he has in place, and he seemed very cool as a cucumber coming out of the draft. It went exactly the way that he wanted it to. Was there some adjustments? Yes, but he did say going into the draft there needed to be flexibility. They had to be flexible. He was prepared to be flexible because it was a different draft. He kept saying that over and over and over again, and that they would take the best players for them. And I think Holmes did just that.
Tim France says, "Hey, Grandpa Joe's from Willy Wonka, you bozo." So there's out there too. For those of you that don't know, we're big anti-Grandpa Joes. Maybe the most villainous villain in the history of movies.
He's up there.
That guy was a dick.
It's
man.
like Grandpa Joe, Hannibal Lecter.
Absolutely.
At least he's got a code. Like Grandpa Joe just does whatever he wants.
Yeah, dude, and he doesn't care.
Because remember, he's got a golden ticket. Remember when he took over the song? It's not Charlie won it and I'm riding his coattails. It's I've got a golden ticket.
And no, Grandpa Joe, you didn't go by the chocolate bar and open it up. You did not have a golden
You're
ticket.
too busy eating stewed cabbage in your bed like a chump.
Like a chump, not contributing to the bottom line. Meanwhile, Charlie's out there selling papers all day long.
Yeah.
Well, think about this. Charlie's mom is so despondent by Charlie's despair that she sings a song called Cheer Up, Charlie, and goes out of her way at work. And she doesn't even get the invite. It's Grandpa Joe who's like, I've got the golden ticket. You don't got shit.
He's a terrible person.
Terrible.
God, man. Sandy, who's here in the house today, says Grandpa Joe's a sweet old grandfather that took Charlie to the chocolate factory. Joe loved his grandchild. No, Sandy. Grandpa Joe loved Grandpa Joe.
Yeah.
And that is it, and that is all. Grandpa Joe had no love for anybody else in that house. All he cared about was himself. Dude's a dick, bottom line.
Yeah, for sure. Terrible human being.
The end of his life was coming. You can't blame him. He wanted to live out his dreams.
At Charlie's expense.
Yeah.
Charlie still got to live out his dreams too, to an
At
extent.
Charlie's expense. Charlie was rewarded for being a good person. Grandpa Joe just took advantage of a situation like the dick that he is.
And none of those other chaperones didn't?
No.
Oh.
Absolutely not.
Violet's mom?
Yeah, but Violet was like they were properly connected.
At least Violet's mom produced for her family and didn't pretend to be bedridden until he gets a gold ticket.
When you start Gabby, let's not do that. Let's not start stacking up resumes of everybody else because you know how that's gonna end.
It'd be fair to just do a little bit of a comparison.
Grandpa Joe made eye contact with Augustus when he was drowning in a river of chocolate.
Let
made
a
eye
child
contact.
drowned.
Yeah, and if he had a cigarette, would have just dropped it on the ground and stepped on it and turned around and walked away.
Didn't he encourage Charlie to drink the fizzy juice?
Yeah,
absolutely. All his idea.
Yeah.
Let's take a drink. Nobody's looking. Let's stay behind.
Yeah. No question about it. Tim France says Violet needed to lay off the We're not going down that road, Tim France. They're children, for Christ's sake. What's wrong with some of you guys out there, man? Neal Ruhl here for Cintron, the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Right now, you can get it. That's right. Exclusive offer for Woodward sports fans. Get the Red Wings 6-pack sampler. You can try it all. The great tasting cranberry, classic, and sugar-free. Just $15, free shipping right to your house. Boom. There it is. If you haven't tried it yet, people I know, man, it's moving up their draft board. It's safe to say about that. Go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward. Again, drinkcintron.com/Woodward. $15, free shipping. You can give them all a spin. Exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena and Keyworth Stadium. We've seen Darren McCarty smashing them at both venues. You can too. Cranberry's probably the best tasting one. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So there it is. drinkcintron.com/Woodward. Give it a spin. Drink it. Live it with Cintron.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl. We got Matt Broder, Gabby Phillips here in the house as well. We got some ancillary Lion stuff we are going to get to. Certainly some NHL draft lottery. Whoever it is that you pray to or ask for good luck or, good karma, as D-Mac would say. D-Mac kind of gave you the game plan last week before he went away, but he'll be back tomorrow. And the the trajectory of the franchise could certainly be altered with a stroke of good fortune tonight. And I'm going to let you guys, especially the Michigan Hockey Elite, break it down for me. You know, you're Adam Fantilli. Is this just another 2C or what it is? So, you know, we'll get into it. I'll get you the updated like pick odds and things like that. And real quick too, before we get into it, Spenmo, you know that if the Panthers bounce the Maple Leafs, the Islanders draft pick that the Red Wings own slots up one slot.
Slots up one. That's what it's all about.
Panthers out here doing the Lord's work for Red Wings.
Look at that.
Absolutely. As if you need one, which you don't. But that's even another thing, too. Get on board, Red Wings fans. Florida Panthers finished this off. Red Wings pick that they got from the Islanders bumps up, I believe, from 18 to 17 or from 17 to 16. Let me see real quick. It goes from, let me see, draft order.
I just can't believe we have to wait until Wednesday.
I know,
to
right?
see what happens.
I know. It will go from 18 to 17. Mm-hmm. So there you have it. Nice job, Maple Leafs. Mike G, who's worse at their job, Al Avila or Grandpa Joe? Grandpa Joe was very good at his job.
He didn't have a job.
He was so
good at his job, laying in bed.
Yeah, being a bum. Until it was time to crip walk to the Willy Wonka chocolate factory.
He hit the gritty into the chocolate factory.
What a second life. So excited.
It's not a second life. It was him jumping on an opportunity.
It was his moment to capitalize.
Yeah.
And it was contrived, and he had it all lined up. F that guy, man. For the more we talk about it, the more every day
it pisses me off.
It does, for real.
Okay, but who would you want to have seen go with Charlie to the chocolate factory if it wasn't the grandpa?
Anybody else?
His mother.
Anybody else? I'd rather see him go solo than to go with that
wasn't allowed.
deadbeat
They have
bum.
They have to have a chaperone.
He's a deadbeat bum.
Facts.
Yeah.
You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. Bye.
And now, Gabby, I want you to know what you're doing to yourself right here and your reputation in sports media in this town. Austin says, and I'll say it the way I think Austin meant to say this. Austin says, looks like we got a Grandpa Joe defender here.
Yeah, jeez.
He was alerting the masses. Matt, where are you on Grandpa Joe?
Advocate.
He's one of the worst characters in all of cinematic movie history.
Smart man.
Grandpa Joe, we just want to talk.
Yeah, for sure.
We just want to talk.
I'll make sure you don't leave that bed next time, Grandpa Joe. Make sure those legs aren't working.
What are you doing?
We'll take care of that.
Yeah.
He pre-ordered one of those villain sweatshirts.
Yeah.
He's ready.
Yeah, Grandpa Joe. You think you're having trouble walking now?
Yeah.
We just want to talk.
Wait until we get our hands on you, Grandpa Joe.
Yep. So, Gabby.
Boom. Roasted.
Just be careful. We got a Grandpa. It sounds like you're a Grandpa Joe sympathizer.
No. Hard pass.
Just playing devil's advocate. You know, it wouldn't be a fun show if we were all on one side.
Shane Sandrock, Grandpa Joe is an FSU fan per sources. Is he going to walk out with the captains during the game against? You guys are playing Florida again this year, right?
He's coming out on the horse. He is throwing
I'm sure he can ride it all of a sudden.
Ground.
He was on a bed for 20 years, but give him a chance to ride the horse out at an FSU game to the 50-yard line, and all of a sudden it'll be like he's riding Barbaro in the Kentucky Derby.
You suck.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there it is. Mike G, who's more of a bully, Grandpa Joe or Daniel LaRusso? I've seen that. I didn't understand the Daniel LaRusso hate, but we're not going to do that one.
Oh, I hate Daniel LaRusso.
Who's Daniel LaRusso?
Karate Kid.
Is that the sweep the leg guy?
Yeah.
What? No, he's doing his job. Come on. Ralph Macchio is the real villain of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because Ralph Macchio is Daniel LaRusso.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mike G wants to know, does Grandpa Joe love crab legs, Gabby?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Grandpa Joe. I don't speak for Grandpa Joe.
Well, we'll never get that chance. Conveniently, he passed away in 1981.
So somebody has to advocate for him. He can't advocate for himself. So I'm just helping him out a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
He's definitely not paying for the crab legs.
Definitely not.
I guess he died at his home in Hollywood Hills, by the way. Of course.
Yeah.
Wonder who paid for that house. It wasn't him.
He was on the back of Charlie. For sure.
No doubt.
Yeah. He probably did end up stealing that chocolate factory, selling it, and then bought that house.
Got distribution rights to some of the Wonka chocolate or things like that.
Yep.
I'm sure he did. All right, back to football. Enough.
Great segue. Flip.
Every time Spenmo brings it up, I get more angry.
Yeah,
Completely derailed.
And then I get angry and he gets angry.
I feel the fire burning, honestly.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
He does. He gets me going. Nine Drink says, Gabby would make a great wife. She'd let you lay in bed for 20 years before you ever had to go do anything.
You know what? Just because I say it's okay for Grandpa Joe doesn't mean that it would be okay for you.
That's fair.
So there you have it. Lions backfield. How good are they? Like for real. And I think this got lost in the wash for me, certainly, on draft night, because I think we were all stunned. When we were out there, we were all at Fifth Avenue, and
it was a good night.
It was a good night. To recap, Spencer Raxter ended up in a fight on Main Street.
Yeah, in the streets.
He was fighting in the streets, literally. Burn says Gabby is understanding but fair. I don't know about all that. We got our eyes on you, Gabby.
Too
That's
understanding.
A little too understanding. I think it got lost in the wash a little bit, Matt. Like once once I got over being stunned from the pick, which again, I liked it more than most because my line is they got paid to do it. They got compensated to do it. They moved up to the second pick in the second round. Like they obtained capital to do it. So I didn't have the huge problem with it that some might. But through that being said, and by the way, 59% of you say that the Lions did do enough to address the defense. 28% said no, and 12% say they should have drafted Grandpa Joe. And that's probably the Jalen Carter crowd because character, obviously, is not an issue for them. Gabby, you're not hiding that you're related to Grandpa Joe, are you?
Ooh.
No comment.
Okay. Anyway, though, getting back to it, we're gonna land the plane eventually. How good is it? How good is this backfield?
It's tricky.
Like, is this like a top 5 room? Is this a top 10 room? Now I know that that's gonna lie heavily on Jahmyr Gibbs because the other guys that are there are more known entities. We know what David Montgomery is. I'm a big fan. Love David Montgomery. But they, like ceiling, they do have the ability to be a top 5 room, running back room. Do they or do they not?
I definitely think so. It's a hard question to answer because we all think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a great pro. We all hope that's going to happen here in Detroit, but it hasn't been proven yet. We know David Montgomery was an upgrade over Jamal Williams, but is he that direct replacement? I'm focusing more on Mo Ibrahim, our undrafted free agent, who he got the money that tells us he's going to compete for a roster spot, but is he the one that takes over those goal line carries? I don't know how it all works yet. I'm very optimistic. Are they the top 5 running back duo, top 5 running back room even?
They have the ceiling to be. That's fair.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Because I think Jahmyr Gibbs has one of the highest ceilings, maybe in the league, outside of Bijan Robinson, maybe.
And look, like we know what David Montgomery is. We've seen it. We haven't seen it behind Penei Sewell.
True.
We haven't seen it behind Taylor Decker. I'm curious to know, and Spenmo, you and I are both big Montgomery guys.
Mm-hmm.
Does that alter the britches a little bit to think about that? With the style that Montgomery runs, man, because he's a hard runner.
Yeah.
Does it alter the britches a little bit to think about that, Montgomery running behind that line?
Oh, yeah, most certainly. And I talked about this on Heavyweights a little bit about, like, Dan
5 to
Campbell.
7.
5 to 7 Heavyweights. Check it out. Great show. Well, I know the guys on the desk. They're pretty good. But they do a lot of different things stylistically between David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. And I looked at it as Dan Campbell building what he saw worked in his last stop in New Orleans. That Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara-esque backfield where 2 guys both went over 1,000 all-purpose yards, both had huge impacts on the game. Like, that could easily be what he's building here with David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, kind of a lightning and thunder combination to do multiple different things, both be heavily involved in the offense and help them stead that running attack for a long time.
And it's interesting you bring that up, right? 2 guys with over 1,000 yards all-purpose in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't been done here.
Yeah.
Since Reggie Bush and Joik Bell.
Joik Bell, yeah. Multiple weapons.
Absolutely.
It's interesting because in Holmes' interview with 20 Men that came out last week, they spent a decent amount of the conversation regarding Gibbs talking about pairing him up with Montgomery. So I think that is definitely at play in this situation moving forward. If they're going to spend half of his whole section that they were talking about him on his potential relationship with Montgomery, you know that's where their mind is shifting to.
And also, too, you have to take into account, like as far as the Lions go, what they've done in terms of spending capital on the running back position. Now, the cap numbers are still small, but they significantly increase the amount of capital that they are spending in the running back. So Matt, I will go a step further with it to say, look, like, I know we're still in the romanticism phase, like with the Lions and stuff like that, but there will be, when this season starts, for me, when I watch this team, there will be, I will watch it kind of like a Javi Baez perspective to say, you know what, you're getting a lot, so you do need to perform, and if you do not, then there's a problem.
Fair. We'll see right from the beginning of the season how they use these two guys together.
And again, that's my issue. Like when we were talking about the Tigers earlier, my problem with Javi Baez is that, right? $25 million a year guy who's mid, less than mid if you go by the analytics. Less than mid. You're actually better off without him and somebody else than you are with him. It's flannel.
Hey, I mean, he had one of the worst seasons I can remember from a prize free agent last season. He doesn't get on base, but to be fair, he's a little bit improved this year, but I know what you mean. Although, I think mentioning Javi Baez and the Lions backfield in the same sentence is a little bit insulting to the Lions backfield, just for the record.
Yeah, real quick, Stephen Baffy says Montgomery is a side grade. He does not get 40-yard runs. Jamal had 4 of them. He also gets about half the 20-yard runs Jamal did.
In 1 year. Jamal Williams was a career backup before he got put behind the Lions offensive line. Fucking get over this love affair with the guy. I'm sorry. If he was that good, he would have got a good contract. The NFL knows what he is. He was forced to be RB1 in an offense with a fantastic offensive line and a great play caller in Ben Johnson. If he did it with Jamal Williams, who was a career backup, you don't think he can do it with a guy who has 4 years consistently over 1,000 all-purpose yards. Stop it.
I love it when I don't have to do the dirty work. And I'll save you the dirty work, too. Lunch. I got the play for you. Yeah, I was talking about this with my buddy yesterday who was at our family function. He's like, Neal, is Cousin Maine lobster really that good? I was like, bro, if you don't ever listen to anything I say in my life ever again, which my wife has already stopped doing that. Yeah. But if you don't, this is the one thing I'm telling you. I said, dude, go there. And he's like, okay. He downloaded the app on the spot.
Download the app, scan the QR code, do whatever you can, but you do got to get there and find it because Woodward Sports is brought to you by Cousins Maine Lobster Detroit. Check out their food trucks rolling around the city, offering the tastiest lobster rolls, lobster tacos, and more. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com and search locations to find their Detroit schedule or download the app, order ahead, and earn points. You can even scan that QR code right there and figure out where they are rolling around the city. Make sure you check out Cousins Maine Lobster.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
It's a new year, so let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them anytime, day or night, and no Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. And of course, they have technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology. It's been proven to work, and people who have been proven to care, even care about sand flannels. How many straight days of flannel protection?
271.
271. I remember when we were in the mid-teens. Oh, how the time flies. But if you want that kind of protection, call them at 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
One more time for the people in the back. Call them at 1-800.
Stay out.
Yep.
Stay out of Twitter, Steph Curry fans. Stop blaming the refs. You lost by 30.
Stay out of the NHL playoffs, Toronto. Oh, wait, you do that on your own. You don't need Guardian Alarm for that.
Ooh, you heard it here first. Make sure you call Guardian Alarm and tell them Big D Energy sent you.
Coming up to the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Gabby Phillips. We also have Matt Broder here in the house, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, all of you, woodwardsports.com chat thread. Nick Pancone says, Spenmo getting hot. LFG says, Raxual. So there you go.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about.
I love
out
it.
there sometimes.
You said it perfectly.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I'm at. This Jamal Williams love affair. Hey, I know we all love the anime and the hoodies and intro in his name and little anime terms and stuff like that, but guess what? He's gone.
And David Montgomery's a better player.
And David Montgomery's better. So stop sitting by the window waiting for Dad to come back home from going out getting a carton of milk. He ain't coming back.
It's only because of Hard Knocks. Because they were able to reach fans that didn't have a full understanding of the game of football, didn't have that background knowledge of football and his skills and his skill set and his abilities, but they bought into him because of his personality. So I think it's almost harder for people to step away when you're bought in because of the person that he is.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I understand it, and everybody loved him, but this is professional sports, everybody. He's gone. Goodbye, sir.
Not coming back.
Good day. He's not coming back.
Good day, sir.
Yeah. Spenmo, did you get that thing I sent over to you?
I did.
So check this out. I love this stuff I get from text and social media. There is a T-shirt out there, apparently, with Grandpa Joe, and it says Grandpa Joe sucks.
Somebody send me a 2X to Woodward Sports, please. I love it.
Grandpa Joe sucks. So,
hell yeah!
Apparently it's a movement that we started. We started this movement.
Yes.
We've done many, many things that have brought about great change, positive change in the community. And shining the light on Grandpa Joe, I believe, is just another in the long
Might be
long
the
list.
best. Might be the best.
For the people, yes.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see him get any credit.
Not for Grandpa Joe.
Real quick, I don't know if you guys saw this NBA playoffs last night. The whole Jokic dealio with Matt Ishbia in the crowd, that kind of stuff. I can't for the life of me. I saw Matt Ishbia go full soccer player. Right? You guys saw it.
Oh, yeah.
You got yeah, whoa. I can't believe that I've seen on social media, there's like a groundswell of Jokic should be suspended and all that kind of stuff. And somebody said, well, if this were Draymond Green, what would happen? Spenmo, you're a Draymond guy, Spartan Dog.
Mm-hmm. Spartan Dog. Get his money. So is Matt Ishbia. Spartan Dog.
Spartan
Has
Dog.
his money.
Has his money. Is spending his money.
Spending his money.
Where are you, Spenmo, with it? Jokic shouldn't be suspended, right?
I mean, I think it was kind of, you can't do that. Like, per the letter of the law, yes, he should be suspended a game. Do I want him to be? No. But, like, you can't do that. It doesn't matter if it was the owner. It doesn't matter if it was Grandpa Joe. It doesn't matter if it was a random fan. He gave a guy a forearm shiver to the neck that was sitting in the front row. Yes, he sold it, but you can't do that, even if you are the two-time MVP. And I'm cool. Matt Ishbia, that's riding for his team. Yeah, he wants Jokic to be suspended. Ooh, he shook my neck, my back. Like, that's exactly, if he wasn't rich already.
Yeah.
I'd be in court. If I wasn't Matt Ishbia, the owner and a billionaire, I'm in court with Jokic today, getting my check. You kidding me? That's on live TV, front row. Oh, give me that MVP money, big dog.
And for those that don't know, so here's the deal. And you guys know I'm a Jokic sim. So obviously I don't think that there should be any suspension for the two-time league MVP. That being said, I know what Jokic is doing. So I watch an inordinate amount of Denver Nuggets basketball, probably more than most. And what I love about Jokic is not only how he's like a unicorn center that can run an offense through like the point guard spot and has triple doubles on the regular. And when his team loses, Flannel, he still scores 51 points. So
wasn't his fault.
It's not his fault. Absolutely. What Jokic will do, I love how cerebral he is. Like he's an excellent passer and all that stuff. And I've seen him do this before. When the ball goes into the crowd, because one of the Suns' players was out of bounds too, he wants to get the ball, get it to the ref, and go. Like he wants to go. Any opportunity for weakness, he wants to go. And that's why he came running over to get the basketball. He came running over to get the ball because he wanted to go. Ishbia was the one that was holding it. Like that's the way that all worked. He wanted the basketball so he could go. Ishbia was interfering with play. Spenmo.
There's a guy in his lap.
He was interfering with play.
It's his play. He can interfere with it. It's his house.
He was interfering with play.
And you still can't. He
didn't body check him into the ground or anything like that.
No, it was weak and it was a flop, but he still put his arm into his neck. Like,
barely touched him.
I mean, still.
If it were Grandpa Joe, he should have snapped his wrist in half and took the basketball.
Yes, for sure. Just clocked him in the face, like Steven Jackson style.
100%. I don't know. I wanted to touch on it just real quick. I wasn't going to make a big deal about it. Nobody wants to see him suspended, right?
No.
I just want to know how this conversation would change if it was just a regular fan. If it was just a regular fan sitting courtside, how this conversation would be different, and would they have reacted the way he did?
Well, the dude that was with Ish, the dude that was there, he got relocated, right? That was my understanding.
Yep.
The other guy that was involved that made contact with Jokic.
That got into Jokic's face, yeah. That's a real one, though.
And we're not talking about him. Well, we are now, but it's not the start of the conversation.
And then that was it.
I wouldn't want to. That guy's got some balls. Like, I wouldn't try to flex on Jokic. Have you seen his brothers? You saw them go after the Morrises? Like, they're Serbians, bro.
You don't want those problems.
Like, I'm good with that. Giant Serbians? Like, no, I'll just sit here and drink my drink.
Yeah, so it is. Shad216 says, is Gabby plotting something devious? I don't know. She's
Always.
a Grandpa Joe sympathizer. We know that. So I don't know.
Always plotting.
You are. Yeah, so for me, I don't want to see it, obviously. But again, I'm a Jokic simp. But with all that being said, Ishbia was interfering with play because Jokic has the right to get the basketball, get it to the ref, and go, which is what he wanted to do. So I haven't heard anybody bring that up. I just want everybody to know that when they have these little discussions.
Could have just asked nicely. Ishbia, give me ball, instead of ripping it out of his hand.
Well, he had already had somebody get in his face.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not suspending him. They can't.
They can't. Well, they suspended KD, or they suspended Draymond during the finals when he was going to win Finals MVP. So LeBron could have this ultimate comeback.
And why did they suspend him, Spenny?
So LeBron could win.
No, why did they suspend him?
Because he kicked somebody in the nuts.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit
on the court.
different.
That wasn't a fan.
Chuck Brewer says, Neal, Gabby's going to have Grandpa Joe at the desk with you soon. You will come up missing. I welcome that. Actually, it won't be
if
Grandpa.
Neal isn't on the show tomorrow.
You know why. That is scary looking, man.
That's
I'm
fair.
not saying specifics.
I just want to do my job and go home. Like that's all I want to do. I don't want to come up missing or anything like that.
Justice for Joe.
I do want one of those Grandpa Joe sucks t-shirt though. I do. People pleaser. If an owner wants someone suspended for that, they will. It doesn't seem like Ishbia is going to press that he flopped though. LOL. Yeah, I don't think Ishbia wants that. Everyone's just going to agree to walk away.
Oh yeah.
Because if that happens, then people are going to go back and say, well, this is the reason that everything played out this way. It's because of this one suspension. Because if he decided to flop, then it's not going to be because of their skills. It's going to be because of him overreacting.
Real quickly, too, I know that we had messages on our WoodwardSports.com chat thread, like from Jack Harrington, that said, people watch the NBA. Jack, they do. They absolutely do. You catch Devin Booker's act, though, over the last 2 games?
He's been balling. It's like 33 of 43 from the field or something like that.
Jesus Christ,
It doesn't
man.
make sense.
They needed it, though. It's what got him back, man. And look, you know this, Flannel, and I'm just going to lay the seeds this before we cut to the break. If the Suns do come back and win, or dare I say win a title, they will say, oh, KD, man. Dude, Devin Booker saved their ass.
I'll tell you what, Devin Booker, what's he averaging in this playoffs? Like 37 on 60% shooting and over 50% from 3. Devin Booker he's having a run right now that is reminiscent of those phenomenal MJ or LeBron runs. Right now, he looks like the best player in the world. That's not who he is, but he has been that phenomenal, historically good.
You know who looked like the best player in the world in the fourth quarter? Landry Shamet.
Ah, that was killing me.
Wichita State guy.
Shout out to James Harden.
Shout out James. Oh, yeah, he balled too.
He did.
Saved the MVP's ass yesterday. He did.
He did.
You guys can say what you want.
Factual.
He did. He
owed his
saved
team,
their
though,
life.
for Game 2 and 3. Just saying, just for the record.
Yeah.
What's that?
He owed his team for the Game 2 and Game 3 performances, just for the record.
Holding a grudge, Flannel.
Yeah.
I'm not holding a grudge. I'm just saying that, James Harden he had 2 historically great games, 2 of the best playoff games of his career, with 2 terrible games.
So you would say he won 2 games?
Yeah.
How many did the MVP win?
This series, none.
Okay. At some point, you got to be an MVP, right?
That's fair. Playoff Embiid is a problem, for real. It really is.
Okay. You know what's not a problem? Strawberry Fest at Big Boy. It's back. You can try some classic breakfast items, the strawberry hotcakes, or the mouth-watering red velvet waffle. If you're not a breakfast person, I am not, so I would roll like this, like I have in the past, the strawberry bacon chicken wrap, or the refreshing summer splash salad. Dessert. That's the point of Strawberry Fest. That's what made this into existence. The classic strawberry pie. Hard stop right there. But if you're somebody like D-Mac, deep-fried vanilla Oreos, you can get those in addition. Or the strawberry hot fudge cake. All of that and more. Strawberry Fest. Get to your local Big Boy today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not 1, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, 1 for you, 1 for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Just saw Matt Ishbia's tweet, by the way. He said suspending anybody would not be right. In effect, I'm not quoting it directly, but that's basically the message. So the owner spoke. The league will react accordingly. And I wanted to get out in front of that before there were any clown takes on that. Neal Ruhl back here with Gabby Phillips, Matt Broder as well. We have Sam Flannel and Spencer Raxter. D-Mac will be back tomorrow.
Flannel with the beats.
What's that?
Flannel has the beats.
He does, man. He drops the beats on there. No question about that. Couple minutes, we are going to get into the NHL drafting. I did have a theoretical, though, for everybody. And I'm curious to see, because I know it's a good question. A, when I don't have like a gut answer, like an instinct answer. And then B, when I kind of flip-flop on it and go back and forth. Very good work by you, though, Spenmo, on this one.
I do what I can.
Again, very basic, but I love it. Who's under more pressure to perform in year one? Jahmyr Gibbs or Jack Campbell? This is a great question. Matt, gut answer, snap answer.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Why?
Because we traded DeAndre Swift for him. We drafted him so early in the people say the positional value. I think he can make the biggest difference for the offense too. I think he can take us to that next level. So I think there's a lot riding on him in his rookie year.
Gabby.
Gibbs.
Why?
One, the positional value, and that being such a big conversation, and everyone is already putting him in the hole because of it. I also just think Campbell is more of a Dan Campbell guy. And I think that will help him going into this year, and I think that will solidify him as a part of the Lions, where I think Gibbs has a little bit more to prove, and he's walking into a tougher situation than Campbell.
Flannel.
I'm going to go with Jack Campbell on this one. I mean, we had the discussion earlier, did the Lions do enough to address their defense as a whole? And Matt, you said that they didn't. But their biggest shining prize out of this draft when it comes to defense, along with Brian Branch, was Jack Campbell. And Jack Campbell is walking into a linebacking core that was weak, where Alex Anzalone and Malcolm Rodriguez are really the only ones you got. Malcolm Rodriguez is obviously very promising as a rookie. Alex Anzalone had a damn good season, but I think Jack Campbell has to come in and be the best linebacker on the team from day one on a defense which as a whole was poor. It played a lot better the last 10 games, but the offense, we don't talk about this enough, was a top 5 offense the whole year, even without Jahmyr Gibbs. Obviously, he was in college then. So to me, it is Jack Campbell.
Spenmo.
I'm with Sam Flannel. I think it's Jack Campbell. It's like he needs to fix the defense. He was the big piece that was brought in to be that guy to fix the defense. He talked about them struggling in Carolina to stop the run. That's what his calling card is. Equally bad positional value if you play into that for running back and linebacker in the first round. They were only drafted 6 picks apart. So this guy is the savior of the Lions linebacking core. He is the hope of the defense because we didn't add much else in the run stopping aspect. Obviously the secondary is vastly improved, but to stop the run, it's going to be a lot on Jack Campbell.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Apollo says, I agree with Abby. Jeb Large says, in all honesty, I'd actually wake up and watch the Morning Woodward show if they replaced Adam with Gabby. So there's that one out there as well. I guess I'm the tie-breaking vote, so there's a lot of pressure on it right now. And look, for me, it's Jack Campbell. And here's why. Your defense cost you going to the playoffs last year. Hard stop. There is no debating that. That's a factual statement. If you are going to be the betting favorite to win the division, I know this is a talking point that I drill home a lot on, but guys, again, this is for keeps. This is real right now. So when Jack Campbell walks there out on the field, and look, this is just my interpretation of it. I'm not trying to put any undue pressure, but what's real is real. You gave up almost 300 yards rushing in a half, kept you out of the playoffs. Does anyone disagree with that statement, by the way?
Nope.
You can't. It's inarguable. You cannot. Did the Seattle Seahawks punt?
No.
You missed the playoffs by an overtime session in a game you didn't play in. That's how fine the line is. That unit has to be better. Has to. And I know that they put a lot into the secondary. And I know that they put a lot into the returning players they had on the defensive line. I get that. I gather that. But who's the face of all of it? And I'm not creating this. You're a first-round pick. You're the guy. You got to go out there and do it, man. This is the NFL. And Flannel, you know, I had the same take about Aiden Hutchinson last year.
Yeah.
I said, I don't care where you went to college, any of that stuff. This is the NFL now. You need to ball out. Took him a second, balled out.
Absolutely.
He balled out.
Yeah, and if Jack Campbell balls out like we all think that he could, I think he's the best linebacker on the team. I think it does improve the defense, at least to some degree. And Jahmyr Gibbs, I mean, we talk about, I know it's funny, and this isn't necessarily the point of this, we talk about Jahmyr Gibbs having to replace DeAndre Swift. They said it was okay to trade DeAndre Swift because they got Jahmyr Gibbs. But Jahmyr Gibbs, if he becomes, DeAndre Swift's career high in rushing yards in a season was 617. So Jahmyr Gibbs isn't replacing much. I'm just saying, Jack Campbell, if he hits, that would just be huge for the Lions defense. Like, you can't even quantify it at this point.
I don't think he was brought in to replace Swift. I think he is now replacing Swift because they brought him in.
That's fair.
Completely different flip there.
Well, that's what I meant for the record. Those were bad choice of words by me. They felt comfortable trading DeAndre Swift because Jahmyr Gibbs was there. I'm just saying that Swift is another one we got to let go. He was not good with the Lions.
That was your guy, though.
It was my guy.
He was going to lead the NFC in rushing.
And you know what? I look pretty damn stupid.
But what do you say, Neal? What do you say? What is your famous saying around here?
Which one?
With new information?
That's a Sam Flannel. That's a Sam Flannel one. New information presents itself. You reserve the right to change your opinion.
I appreciate that.
Prop Do says, even when I agree with him, Neal makes me hate sports. How do I make people hate sports?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Strong words.
I guess so. Rick Sandberg says Neal hates Iowa. I do.
You do?
But Jack Campbell doesn't play for Iowa anymore. Now he plays for the Detroit Lions.
Detroit Hawkeyes.
Yeah, the Detroit Hawkeyes.
Crimson Hawkeyes.
Crimson Hawkeyes. However you want to do it.
Yeah.
He doesn't play for Iowa anymore, Rick. So the second his name gets called, he's a Detroit Lion. He ceases being an Iowa Hawkeye. That's the way professional sports work. Maybe one of the most famous linebackers to ever play for this franchise, Chris Spielman, went to Ohio State. The second he gets drafted, that stuff's over. It is, unless you're Sam Flannel and you carry a grudge.
What? So when did this come back to me? I don't carry any grudges. I mean, I don't carry one grudge. It's in the NFL. It is you have a clean slate. If anything, I think you held a little bit of a grudge in the beginning towards Aiden Hutchinson. I'm just saying.
There's this angle too that Brandon Katz brings up, and this is real. There's a lot of pressure on Campbell because of how bad Holmes' draft was. He did not significantly address the Lions' run defense, and there is that take out there. Like, people do have that sentiment where they didn't agree. They didn't agree, as Spemo, as you said, like with a running back, off-ball linebacker with 2 first-round picks. I heard scouts say their draft looked like a throwback to 2001. And for the Brandon Katz and that crowd out there that say it was a bad draft, yes, Jack Campbell will be. I mean, again, this is how it works in the NFL. You're not in college anymore. You're not hiding behind Iowa's schedule anymore. Like, you are out there. It's all for keeps. It's all for real. This is what it is now. And yes, for those of the people that did not like what Brad Holmes did in the draft, Jack Campbell's going to become the flag bearer for that. He is. Like, right or wrong, fair or unfair, that's what it is. Because, again, pro sports.
I think where Gibbs becomes the target is the conversation with Swift leaving, and then also Williams and the situation that he's walking into there. I think if he walks in and doesn't perform right out of the bat, it's going to be, all right, well, we're just waiting. Now we're just waiting 6 games. Now we're just waiting 6 games to replace him.
It's true. No, it's absolutely true. But, again, the Jahmyr Gibbs thing. And, Matt, you know, am I overstating it here? Like, am I being too extra?
No, you're not. But I'd argue for the reasons you're selecting Campbell, I'd almost say that's why there's more pressure on Gibbs. They had such a bad defense. They've improved that defense so much with many other players with that secondary. I think the pick they had before Jack Campbell, they could have gone defensive player at 12, but they went, the one big addition to the offense this offseason was Jahmyr Gibbs. And I also think it's a direct answer to the other teams in the NFC North, what they've done to improve their defense. I think especially the linebacking core in Chicago, this is one of those chess pieces where Brad Holmes is like, all right, you want to spend $100 million on linebackers, take your pick. Try to guard Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery out of the backfield.
Right. Mike G says, Flannel agreed. All the Michigan haters like Neal and Spenny wanted Hutchinson to fail. That's not true.
What?
I laid it out for you, Mike G.
That's just soft.
The second the name gets called, that stuff's out the window, man. Yeah. It is. Man, guess what? If Jack Campbell struggles at the beginning, guess what we're going to say up here? This is a very simple business up here. To be on this desk, to have this microphone, all that kind of stuff. It's very simple. Was I critical of Aiden Hutchinson after he got it together?
No.
You can't.
No, you can't.
You can't be.
But was I critical of him in the beginning? Also, yes.
Yes,
because
you were.
He struggled.
And you're a slap.
I am. But he struggled at times in the beginning. But he got it together.
He did.
Yep.
Because we're level-headed here on Big D.
Absolutely we are. Absolutely we are. So, you know, for me, it is that simple where Campbell becomes a face. And look, man, I can't kill you on the Gibbs. If somebody wants to say the Gibbs thing, again, I'll cut a pass because they were compensated to do it. And I will say this too, though. If Gibbs does pop off, he's going to get all the shine because it's going to be dynamic.
Oh, for sure.
We love dynamic. I do. I love toys. You know, grinders that have 16 tackles. You know, it's nice, but it isn't shiny. It's not fun. I like fun. I like toys.
It's a shiny league, too.
It is a shiny league. No, absolutely. Chuck Brewer says, Neal, so you're saying you rooted against Hutch while he was at Michigan? Rooted against Hutch while he was at Michigan?
I rooted against Hutch when he was in Michigan. 1,000%.
No,
But when he's on the Lions, he is a Detroit Lion. He is no longer a Michigan Wolverine. I don't care if you played for the Axis Army. If you're playing for the Lions
if you're Grandpa
now,
Joe.
yeah, like if you're playing for the Lions now, I'm going to root for you because you're a Detroit Lion.
What
and
if,
I want to see you do
what
well.
if Grandpa Joe was the picket linebacker?
I hope he gets 150 tackles and is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's probably got the legs for it, even though he was on bed for 20 years.
He could run down Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
He'll be the Jahmyr Gibbs stopper. That's the only one. Sam Flannel, tell him about Swiss Insurance.
Absolutely. Like our draft picks, did the GM do his job? Be a boss and take control of your insurance options. Draft a company that will give you the most cost-effective plan and protect you like the best O-line in the league. Email Swiss Insurance today at mark@swissins.com or just go to their website, swissins.com.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Keeping it pushing, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl. We have Gabby Phillips as well, Matt Broder, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxer, all of you, woodwardsports.com. Chat, thread. Make sure you subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. We are keeping it pushing. 50-ish thousand of you have subscribed already. Awesome. But get in there and do it. We're next in Detroit sports media, and also we're the now. If you go by the numbers, I'm just saying that is the case.
Numbers don't lie.
What's that?
Numbers don't lie, right, Flannel?
No, they're factual.
By the numbers.
Yeah, by the numbers, absolutely. Subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast too. You can rewind, fast forward. Not a baseball person, zip through that. Not an NBA person, you can rewind, fast forward through all that as well. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Detroit Supremacy says, as a Spartan diehard, I still wear my Larkin and Hutch jerseys, effing stupid scum slappies. So,
I didn't say that.
Ryan says, Neal is the Stephen A. Here's the difference. Ryan, let me address that because I've gotten that from a couple of people here. Here's where it's different with what I do. Everything I say into this microphone, when I look into this camera and talk, everything I have ever said, it is my 100% belief to be true. I don't do things for clicks. I don't do things for an argument. I'm not going to have an artificial argument. I'm not going to argue bad points. I believe I'm right. That's why I say it. But I give you the reasons why. I don't just yell into the microphone with no substance. I do yell into the microphone at times because I get worked up. But I'm not a circus clown up here. I just talk sports with people. And I give you the reasons why I think the way that I do. And then I usually get, yeah, but he sucks in return. I don't accept that. That's not an argument. So that's why.
Can you juggle, Neal?
I cannot.
Trapeze?
I used to have a sideline reporter at Oakland, Jenna Rose. She was with the Chicago Blackhawks now. She could juggle, and for real. Real juggle. It's when you see it in person and somebody you're like, man, that juggling is wild.
So hard. I've tried.
Yeah.
I failed.
It's almost as hard as it is for Grandpa Joe to be a good person. It's just not. It's a tough skill. Mm-hmm. It is a tough skill. But yeah, we're up here chalking it up. Coach Ritchie says Neal speaks facts. I believe damn near everything he spits out because of the facts. Questions for Gabby in here as well. Pete Smith wants to know, and we're going to get into the hockey stuff, but I believe this is relevant. Pete Smith, Gabby, as a Florida State alum, would you take Charlie Ward's basketball career over his football career? That's a great question.
That's a great question.
I don't know. Yeah. I would have liked to see him play
got
the
you a
Seminoles,
Heisman.
I would like to have seen him play with the Seminoles basketball team the year of COVID. That's what I would like to see.
Okay. He
We
got
are
you a
on the
Heisman.
upward. I know, but we are on the upward, and I really, really, really think we could have won the tournament that year. Maybe with a little extra help, we could have made it happen.
Low key, and I know this isn't Tallahassee sports talk right now. Leonard Hamilton's the most underrated dude in college basketball. They're like, they're like the winningest ACC program over the last decade, or some crazy number like that.
They're always
always there.
They're always in like the round of 32. Sometimes they get a little bit farther than that. Yeah, they're
That's
consistent
tough, though.
winners.
Wrapping up the WoodwardSports.com chat poll: who's under more pressure to perform in year one? Jahmyr Gibbs got 62% of the vote. So that's what it is. Pete Smith says Charlie Ward's the only Heisman Trophy winner to sign a second contract with the New York Knicks. He was dynamic, man.
He was good.
He was a great
Dynamic,
athlete.
Explosive, all those catchy words
Yeah.
that Brad Holmes uses on every press conference.
All right. D-Mac told you guys what to do last week. Tonight is the night. What time's this going down at?
8 p.m.
8 p.m. What station? Do we know?
ESPN.
ESPN it is?
I think so.
Okay.
Wow.
I
So-
just said it.
8 o'clock tonight.
I'm pretty sure.
So told by Gabby.
I was told.
I was
You're going to get a
told.
tweet. If you're wrong, you're going to get the I was told tweet. You absolutely are. But
Confirmed.
anyway,
Confirmed.
you'll find it. If you want to see it, you'll find it.
Yeah, I was right.
ESPN.
I was right. I was
No,
right.
see, Gabby, here's how you do that. You don't say, I was right. No, you say, I tried to tell you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could have just
You
believed
doubted
me
me?
and
You
saved.
doubted me?
There
Like
it
you
is.
should have said, Matt, you could have just believed me and saved the time of looking into Google. But you didn't. You wasted that time. That's on you.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how to live
Yeah.
your life. True. Now, is that how I would respond to that, Sam
learning
Flat?
curve. Learning curve, okay? First time on the desk, I'm allowed to have a little bit of a learning curve.
That's fair.
Yeah. Here on Mark M, this isn't the show to come to if you want bad takes, not on Neal or D-Mac's watch. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But, yeah. All right, D-Mac told you what to do. Whoever you believe in, last night, today, on your lunch break, whatever you do, whoever you pray to, whatever you do to go for good luck, tonight is the night. I will give you the up-to-date NHL draft lottery odds. Your Detroit Red Wings have a 5% chance
So you're saying there's a chance.
of getting the number one pick. They have a 5.2% chance of getting the second pick. They have a 0.2% chance of getting the number 3 pick.
Oof.
And then based on where they
How
are,
does that work?
they have a 64.4%
really
chance of getting the number 9 pick, a 23.5% chance of getting the number 10 pick, and a 1.7% chance of ending up with pick number 11. As I sit right now, they are at pick number 9. The Detroit Red Wings, in totality for the NHL draft, owns picks number 9, number 18 right now, which once the Toronto Maple Leafs get finished off, that will be bumped up to pick number 17 that they have from the Islanders through the trade that they made. They also, in the second round, have pick number 41, 42, and 43. You guys want a NHL draft hot take real quick?
Let's hear it.
I believe that Steve Yzerman will come out, if he selects all 3, my guess is he'll probably move one of them. If he has all 3 picks in the second round, he will get an all-star out of one of those 3 picks. He ain't going to be wrong 3 times in a row.
That's fair.
When I do like my fantasy drafts, right, I always like to pick 1 or at the end because I want those 2 in a row. I'm not going to be wrong twice in a row. I believe Steve Yzerman will draft a star with one of those 3 second-round picks. That's the hot take. That's the wait to see.
Do you think Yzerman has called up Holmes after this draft and said, give me the pep talk? You did it. Everyone's on board with you now, even though you made some questionable decisions off
I'd
the
be
bat.
curious about that. Do they converse about draft philosophy? I'll have to ask the next time we're all together in the room having drinks.
Yeah. I want to know. I think they do.
Yeah.
I bet they do. You got to pull from your peers around the city.
Even if it's a casual conversation.
Yeah.
It's had to come up at least once.
Now that Avila's gone, it's like all 4 are competent. Let's have that combo.
LV4 says that's not a stretch. Yzerman has built a team without a pick in the top 3. But to be fair, that Lightning team had prime Stamkos. Stamkos was a number 1 overall pick, I believe, right? He had to have been.
I think so.
Yeah, he had to have been. I mean, I could have looked it up, Smemo, but I know that I'm right.
No,
I'm not going to do
right.
a Gabby.
He's right.
Yeah, I know that I'm right. So
he was selected 15th overall. Oh wait, no, what? That was Eric Carlson. Why is it Eric Carlson?
I don't know. He was number.
You don't even need to look it up.
He was 1-1 in 2008.
You don't even need to look it up.
He was the Connor Bedard.
Yes.
Of his draft. So let's get into it.
He was Connor Bedard.
Where are you guys at with it, Matt? You got a good vibe, you got a bad vibe. If you had to bet the mortgage payment. By the way, real quick, Sapper18, Sapper, I haven't seen you in the chat thread before, welcome, says Florida State's the second best university in Tallahassee. Go FAMU. So there's that.
FAMU.
There's you. How you feeling? If you had to bet your mortgage payment, where are they going to end up picking?
I think they're going to be picking closer to 9. I mean, of course, we'd love for them to pick 1, but man, the percentages in the NHL draft are wild.
They're so stupid.
It's hard to comprehend.
It is weird in that. So what they do in the NHL versus what they do in the NBA. Anaheim has, the worst record. Therefore, they have a 25.5% chance of picking number 1. Columbus is 2 at 13.5%, which is right along in line with what the bottom 3 in the NBA have. Chicago has 11.5% chance of picking number 1. So when you boil it all down, obviously the worst record, you get a much, much better chance in the NHL than you do in the NBA of getting number 1. But I want to know where everybody's at with it. What about you, Gabby? Right now, where do you think they're going to end up? If you had to bet the rent payment or the mortgage payment.
9.
Think they're going to end up at 9?
I really think so. I don't want to say it. I really don't because I think this is such a pivotal pick for us right now. But 9.
Okay. And you said somewhere around 9. Flannel, do you believe?
It's tough to say whether I believe or not. I will say this, though, if you guys want a little bit of hope, even if this isn't necessarily related. In 2019, the Red Wings were one of the favorites to get the number 1. They did not. The Devils did. They got Jack Hughes, but the Red Wings still landed Mo Seider. In 2020, that was another year where they were projected to be one of the favorites for number 1. They did not. The New York Rangers did. They got Alexis Lafreniere, and the Red Wings instead got Lucas Raymond. So this is the time when the Red Wings actually aren't one of the favorites, when a Connor Bedard can put them over the top to maybe be Stanley Cup contenders within the next couple of years. This would be the year. I would take all of those years of, I'd say, getting screwed but getting damn good players, and this would be the one where they would not have the highest odds and actually get the prize, the biggest prize probably since Connor McDavid, definitely since Jack Hughes. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just saying that, it would be a little bit of
if you got to
justice.
bet the Flannel family mortgage payment, what pick are they getting?
9. All right, 9.
Boo.
It's a mortgage. I can't I don't want to be homeless.
If you had to bet this month's tax payment.
I do have to pay my taxes again next month.
Same, bruh.
If you had to bet the payment. It was a rough tax season for those of us.
Yeah, now I got to pay quarterly. Stupid. Hate it.
Where are you pinning it at?
Number 1.
Stop
They're
it.
getting
Come
the
on.
number 1 pick. Connor Bedard. Hard for Bedard. He's coming to Detroit. It's going to happen. I prayed to the drowned god all weekend. It is going to happen. Hard for Bedard.
You see Apollo in the chat. He's saying 9, N-E-I-N. I think that's a sign. I actually think that is a sign. Now that we've all been saying 9, no, they're not going to go 9.
No,
they're going to go 1.
They're going 1.
I think I might be with Spencer. I think I might have to flip.
Here on Mark M says 4 is my guess. They cannot pick 4. Based on where they are at 9, they can only advance to the top 3.
Because the NHL lottery is stupid, and they raffle off the top 3 picks, and then everybody else falls in line after it. It's so stupid.
Neal,
yeah, go ahead.
Let's say, is there any chance that whoever lands Bedard, whoever lands the number 1 pick, would ever trade out of that spot?
No.
With a guy like
Would you?
I wouldn't, but I'm saying hypothetically is the draft capital that
There's not a
Yzerman
trade
has,
that could be made.
There's not one single trade?
There's not a trade that could be made for that.
That's what I thought.
And you want to know why? Because you didn't say number 1 pick. You said Bedard.
Yeah.
100% valid point. I hear all this draft capital Steve Yzerman has. Is there any chance?
No.
No.
Neal Ruhl here for Planet Fitness. That's right, Planet Fitness sold to a lot of high schoolers ages 14 to 19 in the U.S. and Canada. Work out for free all summer long from May 15th through August 31st. Really cool program that Planet Fitness does. They're committed to providing safe and comfortable places for teens to work out for free all summer long. The Planet Fitness High School Summer Pass is a solution for teenagers to stay active during the summer when school is out, and important academic and extracurricular programs such as sports, gym class, and after-school activities are in recess. Teens can register starting May 1st, which is right now, and officially gain access to the club May 15th. Registration's open during the summer months through August 31st. That's absolutely what they're doing. Planet Fitness also giving away $200,000 to high schools and students. Teens ages 14 to 19 who register for the High School Summer Pass can help win a scholarship for their school and participate in a TikTok video contest for a chance to win academic scholarships as well. You guys know what it is. We're here in the Planet Fitness studios at Woodward Sports. I'm there every day, Monday through Friday, getting it in. Best gym in the game. Some of you are out there paying $50, $60, $70 for a gym because they have a rock wall. It's pretty dumb if you ask me. Planet Fitness,
$10.
It's got everything that you need. $10 a month, access to your home club. If you want to be a baller like that, the Black Card will set you back just $24.99 a month. It's a no-brainer, everybody. It is Planet Fitness. Go to planetfitness.com. Stop by a couple. You'll pass them on the way home. There's over 50 of them in the Metro Detroit area. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl. We have Gabby Phillips as well. Matt Broder here. We have Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter also. And we're talking NHL draft. The NHL draft lottery is tonight. Red Wings 5% chance of landing the #1 overall pick, which will be Connor Bedard. And I got two questions. Spenmo, you asked one. So I want to do this real quick because I'm seeing it in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. People saying get rid of the lottery. If teams want to tank, let them end up with the #1 pick. Do we like the draft lottery? Because for everyone out there in the chat that says that, you will all be locked in tonight. Everybody will be locked in tonight. That's the point of all this, everybody.
They get 2 nights out of it.
They get 2 nights out of it instead of 1. And we are all going to watch. Why? Hope sells. Hope is the undefeated king. Financial empires have been built on selling hope.
True.
Hope is undefeated.
Crypto.
And we will watch tonight. So I will put that back on the people. Spemo, starting with you because you brought it up. You said the draft lotteries are stupid. They're not going anywhere, man.
I like the NBA draft lottery, but the NHL
why
draft lottery is stupid. Because the NHL, you just do the top 3 picks is what the lottery is for. It's what the bingo balls are for. It's not the whole order. So it's just whoever gets those top 3 picks, then everybody else falls in line. That's just stupid. If they're going to be a lottery, make it a real lottery.
Okay, so your problem is, like, when here on Mark M said, what are the chances we pick 4? There are no chances.
There's no chances.
In your world, there is a chance.
Yes.
Okay, and it's just, I'm curious about it. Philippines On Demand, Neal, what's the worst that we can do in the draft lottery? 11, I want to say. 11 is the worst that the Red Wings can be, and yes, that is confirmed, although there is just a 1.7% chance of them being 11. They can only be 1, 2, or 3, or 9, 10, or 11, because as Spenmo said, the other spots are not out there. Matt, you like these lotteries or no?
I do. I like the lotteries. There are too many cheap billionaires out there owning these teams that they're willing to make money elsewhere and would rather just tank their season. I like seeing competitive sports.
Brandon Katz says the league should just give every team that misses the playoffs an equal chance to get the number 1 pick. And I don't know. Gabby, where are you at?
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't think that I like that either on surface. I thought about it for a minute. Where are you at with the draft lottery concept, Gabby?
I understand why they're doing it for the NHL. I understand because of what I said, the 2 events. Now they're getting double the amount of viewers. They're hyping it up a little bit more. And if you're looking at the NFL and the NHL needs to do a little bit more to hype it up than the NFL. So I get it. Is it ideal? Is there a better system? I'm sure we could find a better system. This is what it is right now. It's not ideal, but we're getting to exciting events around it where we're now talking about hockey, which is exactly what the NHL wants.
Dreary 10 says the NHL lottery is better. The NFL draft model allowed a garbage franchise like the Colts to literally fall their way into Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. I don't know. Flannel, which way do you lean on that? You like the lottery? Do you like the NFL model? Because Flannel, I feel like we're compromised here because the Wings have been burned.
Sure.
The Pistons, people say we don't have any luck in Detroit, and they forget we won the draft lottery to get Cade Cunningham.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
They weren't supposed to get the number 1 pick, but they did. So, for me, I feel like we feel scorned because the Red Wings have been scorned, but you went through the picks they got anyway.
Absolutely.
Out of it. I mean, Mo Sider was because you didn't win the draft the year you were supposed to win the draft.
Sure.
So where do you fall on the whole lottery versus non-lottery?
I think it's sport specific dependent, if that
Really?
makes sense. I said a lot of words there, but let me explain. I think NBA the lottery is necessary because that is the sport where one player can change your fortunes so much. You don't need as much depth as, say, you need in hockey, for example, where Connor Bedard would obviously do wonders for any franchise, but you need more pieces around him. I think if there was no lottery during this Victor Wembanyama draft, you'd see a team going not winning 9 games and just completely taking their season if they could guarantee that they'd get Victor Wembanyama. So I see why the NBA needs a lottery, but the NHL, I personally would probably do away with it, although it's not a hill that I'm going to die on super hard. It's just my preference.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. The lottery's cool because Peaceful Tim says, I don't think a draft lottery is bringing in new fans, but hockey and basketball fans watch on lottery nights. See, Tim, I think it does. I think if a fan's flipping around and finds out that the draft lottery is tonight, we love it. We love the suspense of it. Anything that's close, and I don't know how you guys do your fantasy leagues. We do a lottery for our football draft selections every year. And so we do our lottery where you get your name gets pulled out and you get to decide which pick you want. And then, it goes through that. So say they say my name first, but I want to pick at the end because I want those 2 picks in a row. So I go, all right, I'm picking 12. You're 1. No one wants 5, obviously, because it's right in the middle of everything. I hate it when I get 5.
Me too.
But even that gets me in a weird way. I'm oh, this is kind of hype, man. I want to see where I want to end up picking and stuff. We love a draft lottery, dude. Mm-hmm. We do. We're undefeated against it. We're always going to watch it. I do think, Tim, that it brings in new fans to it. People talking about tanking and stuff like that. And look, guys, I've touched on this before. You're never going to stop tanking. Because, and again, this is, I guess this will make you hate sports again. This is one of those, one of those takes where people say Neal, when you give these takes, it makes me hate sports. I guess this will make you hate sports because until you tackle the problem of you are penalized for winning, you just are. You're penalized. Not it's not neutral or anything like that. You're penalized for winning. Your lottery chances go down the more you win. And it's not just the the Pistons and the Rockets, that have been at the edge of the lottery in the NBA for a long time. The Indiana Pacers, they're always in the lottery all the time. What's it gotten them? You know what I'm saying? Like, they are penalized because they quote-unquote try. You can't defeat that argument. You are mathematically penalized for winning. So I don't know what the answer is to the draft lottery scenario. You're penalized but even in a non-lottery draft, you're penalized for winning. The Colts were stupid to win that game last year.
Mm-hmm.
They were. I mean, the Texans were stupid to beat the Colts at the end last year. Coach got fired because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe he got fired because it was Romeo Crowell, but whatever. So I don't know what to say. I do need the draft geeks though, the hockey draft geeks, to help me as we wind down the show here. After Spenny, after Sam Flannel tells you about Alta.
Absolutely, because at Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project, give Alta a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That is 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. Baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Back at it. Big D Energy, final segment of the show. Neal Ruhl, Gabby Phillips, Matt Broder here filling in for D-Max, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Appreciate
should have worn my red mohawk today.
You should have.
Yeah.
Left it at home.
Did you? WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Tim says, I enjoy you, Neal, just not your Iowa or U of M bashing. You expect perfection from the Midwest. Good luck. No, I just expect like one national title in a relevant sport. I know it's a lot to ask.
Shout out my team, Cleves.
And Ohio State football, that's been it.
Yeah.
That's been it since standard definition television. I'm just saying, it has been. All right, you asked the question, Matt, you asked the question, is there like a Mel Kiper of NHL hockey drafts? Which is interesting, because I'm calling on those people right now. WoodwardSports.com chat thread, there's been a lot, from the Michigan apologist, there's been a lot of Adam Fantilli talk. Mike G said he's, quote, the best two-way player in hockey. Anybody in the room, I am an OHL guy. I admit that. It's a down year for the OHL. I believe like their first prospect isn't mocked till like 19 or something like that. Colby Barlow from Owen Sound. They have a mock going 17th to the Canadians, which we could get once Toronto dips out.
There you go.
So I would be happy about that. But anybody? Give me they end up with 3. Who's the play? Anybody?
Leo Carlson.
Who?
Leo Carlson.
Did he go to Michigan?
Nope, he played in Sweden.
Okay. Gotcha. Flannel?
If it's 3, you hope that Adam Fantilli falls to 3.
I don't think he's going to fall.
Yeah.
He'll be number 2 for sure.
I was just told he's the best two-way player in hockey, college hockey.
I mean, maybe if they have anti-Michigan bias like you, a GM, maybe they'll say pass on Adam Fantilli.
Anti-Michigan bias. No, I want to win a game in a Final Four.
I mean, Michigan hockey has blown so many Frozen Four chances, more than you could even name in an hour. I will admit that. But he is clearly the second best prospect. No question about it.
Ryan says, quote, let's get a Canadian guy. Your thoughts, Matt?
I'm for the Team USA guys. I like the Oliver Moore, the center from Team USA.
Let me see what...
Will Smith, Oliver Moore.
Okay. Connor Bedard's Canadian. Fantilli is also Canadian. Mm-hmm. There isn't... Yeah, Will Smith is. He's with the U.S. developmental program, so they play over there in Plymouth then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's committed to Boston College.
He's committed to Boston College. I see his teammate Oliver Moore, who's mocked at 7, is also committed to Minnesota. How'd Michigan miss out on him, Flannel?
They can't get them all. You can't get all of the best prospects. I mean, it was in 2021 draft, they had 4 out of the first 5 drafted. Still didn't win a natty, by the way. So sad.
So I've been, since this segment started, consistently clicking Sim Lottery, and the Red Wings haven't gotten the number 1 pick yet.
No, they haven't. It's not looking good. If it's rigged, though, they should rig it. What better avenue would you have than to bring back the dead wings, right? The dormant Red Wings?
100%. That's the best thing the NHL could do right now.
Oh!
Their script writers would definitely
I got it.
be making a nice extra penny if they made that happen.
Yeah. Can I just have one request to the people today on the social medias?
Mm-hmm.
If the Red Wings don't get the number 1 pick, can you guys save the draft is rigged stuff? Because if it were rigged, they would rig it the way Spencer Raxter just rigged it.
I got it.
They would rig it
Retry.
just like Spenmo Rax came through for the people. How many clicks, Spenmo?
35 at least.
35 clicks?
Yeah.
But hey.
Red Wings got number 1, Canucks got number 2, and then Ducks got 3.
So there you have that. So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance, a 5% chance.
I love it.
5% chance. That's the number.
Zero. Better than 0.
Soft Jones says, I think it's rigged if we get the pick. On the flip side of that coin, if we do get the pick, can we be honest and say it was rigged for the Red Wings?
I just got it again in 4 clicks. Red Wings, so.
They understand the assignment.
They know what's going on. This time the Capitals have the number 2 pick.
Maybe you should be up there with the little ping pong balls.
Yeah.
Detroit Dabber says Tankathon can be bad for your health. It is an addicting website. For those of you that have not gone, tankathon.com is great.
It's very addicting.
It is. It's a great website. So, yeah, that's all I'm asking for. I don't think that's a big ask, right?
No.
Can we save the draft is rigged talk if we don't get the first pick?
We'll do our best, but I don't think we're going to be able to hold them off.
I think you're right.
Oh, Twitter, absolutely. Everyone will say it's rigged. It's
no
always
matter what
rigged.
way it goes, it's rigged.
I just saw this one. My apologies. The people wanted an Ask Gabby segment.
Oh. Well, 4 minutes.
Jump in.
Fire them off.
Hashtag Ask Gabby.
Oh.
Are you sure you're comfortable with
I
this?
don't know. I think I just committed to something
This
that I
could
shouldn't
get, this
have.
could get weird.
Think that was a bad decision. As soon as I left it to the chat in the morning Woodward show, I'll throw myself under the bus. I was compared to a blonde-haired, blue-eyed quarterback.
Trevor Lawrence?
Currently plays for the Titans.
No! Oh my gosh, guys!
Who?
Zach Wilson.
Oh.
Jack Carrington wants to know, Ask Gabby, are you Grandpa Joe's favorite grandkid?
Great grandkid.
Out
of 17.
Got it again.
Jack Harrington says, I love the show even though Neal hates my hockey team. I don't hate the Islanders. I just think your arena is bullshit. It's a plastic Lego arena built in the parking lot of a horse track. Look it up on Google Maps, UBS Center. You'll see. You'll all see.
We'll see it.
Let me see. Mike G, Ask Gabby, would you embrace Keon Coleman to Florida State?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I would. Him and Key coming from UAB.
Hoof-hearted. You guys will like this answer, I think. Gabby, rum, vodka, or bourbon? We've talked about this before.
This weekend, bourbon. You had to. How could you not?
Cinco de Mayo.
It is. It's
Tequila
dirt.
wasn't in the mix in that question.
That's fair.
Yeah.
How do you not?
How do you not?
How do you not?
How do you
Kentucky
not?
Derby.
Absolutely.
Have
Ryan
to.
said, boys, be respectful. Someone else wanted to know, Gabby, what sports do you play?
Fun fact, I did not play any sports. No sports. The extent of my sports has gone from kitty kickers. That's about it. And I sat on the field and cried because I wanted to be in a tutu. And therefore I danced. And I cheered, which are both sports. And I will die on that hill.
Gabby, favorite player from any sport? That's from Ransom.
Ooh, any sport. D-Mac, sitting in his chair.
There you
I
go.
gotta give him some love. Gotta.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go Red Wings Sparty. Gabby, which happens first, Florida State basketball or football championship?
Football. Basketball had their run. After the season last year that they had, I do not see it coming back again anytime soon. And I believe in Jordan Travis.
There it is. Well, I think we've done all the damage we can do here. Matt, Gabby, appreciate y'all stepping in
Anytime.
for DMAC. DMAC will be back tomorrow. Spencer, Raxter, Sam Flannel. Good job out of you guys, and good job out of all of you on the WoodwardSports.com
Thanks
chat
for having
thread.
us, Neal.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Love it. Thanks for watching Big D Energy on Woodward Sports. Well, see you later.
Bye.